I just call you T.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull over right here at 7-Eleven. All right.
Yo,
Can
what
you see
up?
me
It's
good?
Big Cappuccino and the Great Wu-Tang Clan, Killer Bees on the Swarm.
Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Bizarre from D12.
Yo, what's good, y'all? This is Doug E. Fresh.
Hey, Redman is in the building. You already know.
Hey guys, this is Emily Peachy.
Shout out, man, to Worldwide Collaborations, man.
I want to shout out Worldwide Collaborations LLC.
Shout out to the Worldwide Collaborations LLC.
World Movement, beyond thousands of movements.
The world movement, beyond thousands of movements.
All about representing each other together. So check this out.
What's up? You want to be a part of this? You want to be a part of the Worldwide Collaboration?
You guys should all be a part of Worldwide Collaboration.
Worldwide Collaborations LLC. Check us out, man, and check what's going on, man. Word up. I have recently been choosing to be a spokesman and an ambassador, so you will see a lot more of me. Join the movement, man. It's beyond thousands of movements right now and talents put together, all about representing each other together.
I want to join, so I might see you there. All right, much success.
It is a worldwide collaboration song.
Yeah. Look. Brainstorming, creating, thinking the new ideas, inventing inventions, representing everything, having members collaborating. Worldwide collaborations, ongoing visualizations, programming operations, bringing everyone together equals more motivation. In the situation we live in, there is no concentration. All the people in the world, but no consideration for everyone making excuses, complaining, completely ignoring everything you were saying, possibly because there is no participation. What is everyone really doing? Why are they waiting, sitting there thinking, but no motive or knowing, no knowledge? They never been to college. They lost connection, not connecting or networking, losing is confusing. Worldwide collaboration, changing the game through every nation. Step in the conversation, aim for amazing. Cause this more than observation, more than reputation. We put the game in rotation, yeah.
Choosing the right path and knowing what you were doing and where you were going, contemplating. I'm going the right path and moving the right direction, trying to figure out all the hidden subliminal messages. Welcome to the new revolution. We building an empire bigger than Thanksgiving and Christmas. Put together will last forever, growing bigger, becoming a legendary revelation. Building and escalating, levitating, higher levels, more levitation. Always designing, developing calculations. New members joining, artists and talents recording, changing the world, making it a better place in elevation. Everyone, everywhere, everything moving and rotating in circulation. Yeah.
Worldwide collaboration, changing the game through every nation. Step in the conversation, aim for amazing. Cause this more than observation, more than reputation. We put the game in rotation, yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Chatterbox with King Jacob. I'm your host, King Jacob, and we are live on this Sunday evening with a very, very special star-studded guest, none other than the Honorable Tonia Champagne. What's happening?
Hey, sweetie, how are you?
I'm great. I'm so glad to have. I'm so glad to have you on the show. This is been anticipated and long awaited. So we're finally here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
glad I'm
So,
here.
no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. So, before we get into your backstory, like I wanted to know for some years now, and I finally got to know. But the world wants to know, who is Tonia Champagne?
Lord, who is Tonia Champagne? Wow. First and foremost, I am God's leading lady. I make sure that anything and everything I do, God is a part of it. God is definitely the head of my life. And I mean, if I wanted to say, I guess who I am, I guess that would be first and foremost. And I guess it would more so be me just being me.
Okay.
I'm just me. Like I'm just me. I'm a simple woman. I'm a simple woman. I work hard, I try to stay positive, and I try to just do what I think Jesus would do. What would Jesus do? What would Jesus say? What would God do? What would God say? And I try to live my life that way. It hasn't always been that way, but that's what I do now. Now is this is the Tonia Champagne that you see now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into a little bit of your backstory. Growing up in Brick City, Newark, New Jersey.
Mhm.
You overcame a lot of trials and tribulations, many obstacles. Went through the tears and the snares and stood on top of the struggle. So, what was that like growing up for you in Newark, New Jersey?
Hmm. Well, let me say this, because a lot of people think that growing up in Newark is like can be like the worst thing ever. Truthfully, a lot of things that people endured in Newark, I never had to endure. Like, I didn't grow up in the projects. I grew up on a street called Sterling Street, with the Barakas, Raz Baraka and Amiri and Amina Baraka. We all grew up we basically were on the same street, Sterling Street in Newark, New Jersey. And that was the village for me. So I kind of grew up with the village. Although I did go through, growing pains, everybody goes through growing pains. There were growing pains in my life. For the most part, I had that village. I really did have that village. I had mothers. We used to have a thing called Play Street. I was a little girl. My sister. I'm the baby of 10. First of all, let me say that there are 10 of us. My mom has 7 girls and 3 boys. I'm still blessed to have my mother. My mother is still here. Love her, love her, love her life. And my mom will be 90 years old this year. And it is really a blessing to still have my mom. I came along after my 9 siblings. My sister and I are 6 years apart. So they all have the same dad. I have a different father.
Mm-hmm.
But that was still my father. I had his last name. My mother still gave me, his last name and everything, It wasn't until I got older I decided that, I'm going to keep this last name. Because I could have easily changed it to my biological dad's last name. But
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not going to do that. Plus, Champagne is just a cool name, so why would I change it? So,
Mm-hmm.
but I like I said, I grew up with my siblings. I have 6 sisters. Each one of them had each other. One of them, they grew up together. So each one of them, it was a set of them.
Mm-hmm.
So each one of them had each other.
Right.
So I kind of grew up in what some people call the black sheep, or the eyeball of the family or whatever. But I never felt like that. You know, even with not having the same biological father, I've never felt like I was, you know, treated any differently. Like the love, my sisters still to this day love on me like it's nothing, you know. So I never really had my rough patches were created by me. Let me put it that way. The things that I went through, you know, the people that I decided to hang around and stuff like that, you know, gang members and being a part of a gang and stuff like that. Those were decisions that I made, not because I had to, not because I didn't have that family structure, which some people go through that because they don't have that family structure. You know, they're looking for a family. They're looking for, you know, that wasn't something that I could say was the reason for me just doing the things that I did. You know, any negative things or anything that I had no business doing, you know, not because I wasn't loved, not because I didn't have family. It was because it was just decisions that I made, you know. And of course, I didn't always make good decisions. You know, I didn't always make great decisions. But what I can say and what I do thank God for is that I never had the desire to smoke, never had a desire to drink, never had a desire to take any drugs, never had a desire to do any of that. And still to this day, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that stuff, you know. And I thank God for that. But that's not to say that that wasn't a part of my life, because I may not have drank it, but I did sell it. You know, I may not have taken drugs, but I did sell it. You know what I mean? I was hustling. I've always been a hustler. I've been a hustler all my life, you know. And so I did decide to do the street thing, what they call the street thing, because of the people that I decided to be around. And that's the kind of life that they had. So because they had that kind of life, I basically just did whatever it is that, you know, whatever was going on. But the one thing about me is I've always been a leader. I've always led by example. I've never followed anyone. You know, anybody that knows me, anybody that's been to high school or grammar school or anything with me, they can tell you that I've never been a follower. I've always created my own lanes, and I've always been a leader. You know, and so with leading, you know, sometimes with leading there's power, and I think my problem was I was addicted to the power. I liked having power. I liked having the power to have people do what I wanted them to do. You know, I want that, go get it. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. You know what I mean? And that was something that I had to stop doing. I had to understand that, you know, what you're doing is affecting somebody's child. What you're doing is affecting somebody's loved one, somebody's sibling. You know, so you need to stop doing what you're doing. I'm referencing the whole gang banging thing, the whole gang, you know, being gang related like that. That's what I'm referencing. You know, so I had to stop, you know, and you know, even with the hustling, you know, I had to stop, you know, because I'm like, you know, I'm looking and I'm like, that could be my sister. You know, that could be my mother. That could be my dad. That could be, you know, that could be somebody that I love, you know, so I have to stop. And basically that's what I did. And when I said I was gonna, you know, when I said I was gonna stop, you know, that's what I did. Once I put my mind to something and I say I'm gonna do it, then that's basically what I'm gonna do. And I had that village, you know, I had the mothers, you know, if my mother wasn't there and I was doing something I had no business, there was another mother. Miss Slade was there, Miss Thomas was there, you know, or one of the other mothers on the block, on the street, would get us, you know, and make sure that we don't do that. And unfortunately, we don't really have that village anymore, you know. But I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen so much of the negativity that everybody talks about in the city of Newark or in Essex County or in New Jersey, period. I've seen it all. I've been around it all. I've been, made aware of it, or, even when I didn't want to be, but I always, God was always a part of my life. So, my mother, I grew up in church. I was, water baptized in a Baptist church, was, got my prayer language, was, speaking in tongues, all of that stuff. Like so it's always, God has always been a part of me. So he has kept me in instances where I would probably not be here talking to you right now. I've been through that whole domestic violence thing, where I've had guns put to my head and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I've been through it. But those were decisions that I made that I had to get myself out of, that, God helped me to get out of, that I promised myself I would never get into again. But those types of things I did go through, but I can't really say I had a hard life with living in the city of Newark. I can't really say that.
Okay. So, oh wow. Okay, so we start this way. Okay then. Okay. The raw, the real raw. Okay. All right. So, me and you have discussed a few things, and we're gonna get more back into the healing part of domestic violence. We're gonna get back into that, but to come from an entrepreneurial type family, that own businesses, and they have been running a business for years and years and years. Tell me about you being a business tax professional, and the things that you learned from your family with understanding LLCs and incorporations and sole proprietorships, and understanding, how you can put the sole proprietorship in the LLC and all those things in a trust to have more leverage when it comes to tax breaks with the government and stuff like that. So tell us about what our people in the Black community miss out on, that we should know, with you being a business tax professional.
Okay. Well, praise God, we've been in business for over 27 years. Champagne and Company Income Tax Service has been in business for over 27 years in the city of East Orange, New Jersey. We actually started out with my sister and my brother-in-law. They were married, and so we started out with PTS, Professional Tax Services, prior to us branching off and doing our own thing after the separation of my sister and my brother-in-law. But prior to that, I've always been big on math. Always been big on math. My math teacher, my accounting teacher, she put me in competitions against people, against different schools and all kinds of stuff. So I've always been big on math, on numbers. So, one thing about me, my grades were always good, always had good grades. I stayed in school. I loved school, did some foolishness in my last year, but, I went back and corrected that. But for the most part, I've always loved numbers. Always loved working with numbers, money, whatever, anything that had to do with counting. That's what I want to do. So when my sister and my brother-in-law came to me and said that, my brother-in-law basically, Brian, he said he would come and teach me how to do the taxes. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I was already doing bookkeeping, so I already knew how to do bookkeeping and some accounting. So when he said, he was going to teach me how to do the taxes, that was right up my alley, and I've been doing taxes ever since. And like I said, after the separation, we all branched off. I went with my sisters, and we all just basically branched off, and we've been doing income taxes ever since. I'm a researcher. So anything that I want to know, I'm gonna go and research it. I'm gonna, whether I'm going online or going to the library, going to books. I even go to the law library if I need to know some certain things about law up in Trenton. I do that type of stuff because I like knowing things. So when it came to that, I always had a business mind of my own. So I always wanted to do my own business. Always wanted to do my own businesses. So I researched. Nobody literally taught me how to form corporations and stuff like that. I did that myself. Those are some things that I went and did, myself, and was able to bring that to the company. My sister Trudy, she is the one that, she does it all. She does it all. When I say she does it all, she does it all. And when we said that we were going to incorporate that into doing the taxes, into our tax business. I'm also a notary. Probably didn't tell you that, but yeah, I'm also a notary. Been a notary for over about 10 years now. I've been a notary. And in the state of New Jersey, I am a notary. But I urge people, especially people of color, our people, to get into making sure, if you're going to do a business, make sure you do the paperwork for the business. Too many people go and say, "Oh, I'm going to go and I'm an LLC," but you haven't formed any boards. You don't know your bylaws. You don't know anything about being this LLC. You're just saying you're an LLC. Because you went and you filled out whatever paperwork to get an EIN number or whatever the case, and they said, okay, yeah, now so you're an LLC, but you don't go through the steps that you need to go through to build your corporation, and you have to build your corporation. I mean, that's your sole proprietorship, then okay, fine, that's well and fine. But if you're talking about being a corporation, be it a C corp or S corp, you have to build your board. Your boards have to be built. Now, I learned so much with putting together my own nonprofit organization. It was I literally learned how to do nonprofits, helping other people become nonprofits, truthfully. Helping other people with nonprofit organizations that are nonprofit organizations right now. I have helped a couple of them. I'm not going to put their names out there, but I've helped a couple of people become nonprofit organizations over the years. So I was instrumental in helping to get all of the information that was needed to become that nonprofit. In becoming a nonprofit, you got to have a mission statement. You got to have all of these different things to become a nonprofit. Because not everybody can just become. You can't just become a nonprofit. You have to make sure that all of your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted. So it was important to me to find out how to do all of these things. So I researched. I did all the research that I needed to do to make sure that I'm able to help other people. And in helping other people, I was able to help myself. So I urge you to make sure, everybody that's watching, make sure you pay your taxes as a business. Please. Make sure you pay your state taxes, however your state taxes run. Make sure you do quarterly taxes if need be. If you are collecting sales taxes, make sure you are paying in to the government what needs to be paid, because some of the biggest people, the biggest corporations, have been torn down by the IRS. Some of the biggest celebrities have been torn down because of the IRS. Some of the biggest criminal organizations have been torn down because of the IRS. The IRS is so much stronger than people think. They're very, very strong, and they do not play when it comes to their money. Pay your taxes. If you are filling out your W-4, fill your W-4 out single with zero. Now I'm telling you stuff right now that I get paid for. Let me tell you that, first of all. You know, consultations are not always free. All right. But I'm doing this for you because, you know, you're my boy. But make sure, everybody, make sure on your W-4, you claim a single with 0. You want to pay those taxes in. Truthfully, when you're getting paid, you're not really seeing it. You're not really seeing that money. But at the end of the year, when it's time for you to file your taxes, you will see that money. They're paid. As long as they're paid, you're going to get it back. But pay it in. Pay it in. Because when you don't pay enough taxes in, your refund is, excuse my expression, booty. Okay? Your refund is booty. You don't get there. You ain't getting nothing back if you ain't paying nothing in. You know, so you can't go and make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and not pay taxes on it. If you get a 1099, make it your business to get in touch with the IRS or whoever it is that you're working with or working for that's giving you that 1099. Tell them you want to pay taxes on that money. Because eventually it'll all fall back on you. So you really want to do that. I urge my clients, all of my clients, to make sure that they do that. You know, and plenty of them have done it, and now they're seeing their refunds where they wasn't seeing refunds before. They were owing. And let me say this too: when you guys are owing, that's what the April 15th deadline is for. It's for when you owe. It's so that you can file for an extension on that by that date, midnight that day, so that you sometimes they give you an extension too, because sometimes it's not the 15th, sometimes it might be the 17th or whatever. It's according to whatever. But the last day that they say you can file taxes, if you know that you are going to owe the IRS money from your tax return, you must get that extension in before midnight on the night that they say that's it. Make sure you get it in so that you don't get hit with penalties and fees, because the penalties and the interest fees and everything that's on that's what makes because you kind of wonder, how can somebody owe thousands of dollars to the IRS? Because for years they're not paying the taxes that they're supposed to pay. So for years, they're getting hit with penalties and interest for years. And that's basically what's happening. That's basically what's happening with people. So I urge people all the time to make sure you go and you pay those taxes in. Pay your taxes in. Look at your W-4. Look at your pay stub and see what taxes you're actually paying in. You should be paying at least 10% of your earnings for federal taxes, at least.
Okay,
at least.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Social Security. I'm not talking about Medicare because everybody be like, I pay taxes. Yeah, you pay taxes, but you're not paying in federal taxes. You're paying all these other taxes, not your federal taxes, which is the tax that you really need to be paying in, because that's where your refund comes in at, with your federal tax money. So you want to do that. And as far as making sure you invest in you. You know what I mean? Put money into IRAs, put money into mutual funds. I actually am a part of Smart Village with my boy, my king, Rashim Kilo Pugh. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Kilo, but he was actually the producer of Lauryn Hill's first record. He was the one that produced it. Him and his team. They were the ones that produced it. They're the ones that had to go to court with her to get their money and all that. Anyway, yeah. So the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, that's it. That's them.
That's a whole different story.
He actually is the one. He actually is the one that came to me and was like, Tonia, you need to do this. You need to do this. You need to, and he's the one that taught me how to go in about Motley Fool and all of the stuff that I basically, started to learn. And then I started doing my own research because, again, that's what I do. So when he started teaching me about the IRAs, getting the IRAs and the mutual funds and all of that stuff, the Roth and all of that stuff. So that's basically what I did. That's when Bitcoin first came out. When the whole Bitcoin thing first came out, that's when he started showing me, how to basically invest. Since then I've done Acorn. I invest with Cash App. I invest with a couple of different things. I still do the Motley Fool, of course. And everything is kind of doing what it do. You know what I mean? Right. But you have to, be willing to invest in yourself. You have to be willing to invest in yourself. Too many times we want other people to invest in us, but are you investing in yourself? What have you done for you? You know what I mean? And that's what we have to, that's where we have to get to. We have to get to that point where we are starting to pour into ourselves, pour into our own communities, and pour into our own banks and businesses, because we have the power. We have so much more power than people know, and we need to utilize it. We need to take what we have and we need to monopolize off of, because they do it. They do it. So why not us? Why not us? Right.
Right.
So, course, I don't want to, because I can talk. I can talk.
Yeah, of course, That's what you do. That's what you do. It's fine. So, learning how to invest is key to grow the Black community, to grow our natural resources. Like
Absolutely.
our great grandparents. The farmland and stuff like that. And owning and controlling land is really key, because we see what the world is about to come to. So we definitely got to understand that we got to start by eating from the earth. And when you eat from the earth, you can make money from the earth. So, with that being said, that is one of the biggest and the best investments of all.
Land.
So yes.
Land.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Tonya. We appreciate that. So back to you as a award winner. So explain to me the award that you received back in 2011, and how did that come about?
Oh, okay. You're talking about the Women of the Distinction Award. Because I've won plenty of awards since then. But yeah, that was really that was a really staple moment in my life. That moment right there, because Melissa Perkins, Missy, I call her Missy, she was working for the YWCA of West Hudson, of Essex and West Hudson. And she was basically working for them, and she was instrumental in seeing all of the things that I was doing with my nonprofit organization, doing all the things with the children in the community, and I mentored and managed hip hop dancers. I don't know if you actually looked, but my cover photo right now, those are actually all of my dancers that are surrounding me. Some of them are not even in the picture, but so many youth I was able to help and touch, and they were all a part of my dance program right there at the Boiler Street Recreation Center in Newark, New Jersey. So that's where that picture came from. And she, again, was a part of that. And I was actually helping her do some things at the YWCA in Orange, New Jersey at the time. I've done work in a couple of different recreation centers and stuff like that, throughout Essex County, in New Jersey. So Missy saw Melissa. I'm sorry, I keep calling her Missy. I call her Missy, but Melissa Perkins. She saw what I was doing, and she nominated me for that award. and it was a beautiful thing. I actually got the award with one of the judges. She Judge Pratt, Victoria Pratt. She was honored with me on that day. Who else? Kelly Ladette Drake. She was honored with me on that day. It was a couple of prominent women that were honored with me on that day. We all were honored together, and we also got the thing from what is his name? The Senator Robert Menendez. So we actually got something from the senator as well of New Jersey. So that was a really, really great moment in my life, because I had just recently started my nonprofit organization when I received that. I hadn't even became an official nonprofit yet before I even received that. When I received that award, I became an official nonprofit in 2015. It took me some years to build what I needed to build to become a nonprofit organization. So in 2011, that was something that, everything that I was doing, basically I was spending my own money, I was basically in my own pocket. I wasn't getting grants or anything from anywhere. Nobody was giving me anything. A lot of things that I did, just selflessly, and nobody owes me anything, because that's what I wanted to do. I love my children, even to this day, and most of them have their own children right now. A lot of them you see in that picture, they're fathers and mothers, so I practically raised a lot of them, so it's really a beautiful thing when you are able to just be that pillar in the community, be the go-to person, be the person that, I call him my sugar booger. His name is Kenyatta. He actually just had his birthday yesterday also, day before yesterday also, but he's had me crying the other day, because he was like, I never told you this, but I'm glad, if it wasn't for you, I would be in the streets. I wouldn't be the father that I am right now to my children. I would have probably been in the streets. I probably wouldn't be here talking to you now, because of you, you actually helped me stay out of the streets, me and so many others, and for him to say that to me, that means more to me than anything, after all of these years, for him to be able to come to me and say that, although he's always been like a son to me, for him to say that, I mean, it was just one of those days, and I literally had to get in my car, because I didn't want them to see me, but it touched me so much, when he said that, because you do, and regardless of what people say, you don't do things because you want the praise for it or whatever. Yeah, you don't. I don't want any praise for anything, because God gets all the praise. But when you do things for people, it does something to you when someone that you help remembers that, even if it's years later, and they come to you and they say something to you years later, and he's not the only one, but it was just that I wasn't expecting that from him. It's like certain people you don't expect things from, so I wasn't expecting him to say that to me, although, many people have thanked me for helping them and, helping keep them off the streets, because that was my whole tagline, let me be your child's alternative to the streets. Let We Got Us Kids be your child's alternative to the streets. That was basically, has always been my tagline, for my organization, even prior to my mission statement, prior to me becoming a nonprofit, I've always said that to people. Let them be a part of my model training program. Let them be a part of my dance program. Let them be a part of all of the entertainment that, and arts, things that I have going on, give me your kids. Plenty of parents that, with the children that were in my programs, a lot of them didn't even know how talented their children were. A lot of them didn't even know their kids had talent. Their kids could dance or sing or rap or DJ or whatever, you know. But once they came to my program, you know, then the parents were able to see that that's what they were, you know, that's what, you know, their child was doing. And you'll be surprised. There were a lot of parents that wasn't even a part of what it is that I was doing. I was going to get their kids and having their children with me, and they weren't even a part. They weren't helping me. They weren't coming around. They weren't bringing the children. None of that. Like, it was crazy, you know. And it used to piss me off. I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna say this because it used to piss me off because you had so many people saying there's nothing for us to do. There's nothing for our kids to do out here. There's nothing for our kids, and I'm like, you guys are lying. You're lying. There are plenty of programs out here, but you are not taking the initiative to bring your child to the program. So, you know, I had to say that because it's still going on. You still have people that are saying that City of Newark is not doing it, or Essex County don't have this, and you know, no, they're lying. They're lying. It's programs. It's so many programs right now that are going on out there in New Jersey. It's not even funny. It's a lot of them out here in Pennsylvania too, you know. But there's a lot. There's a lot in New Jersey. They just have to go and put their foot down and kind of bypass the circle, because you know it is a circle of people. You know, let's just be realistic. It is a circle of people that, you know, only worry about their circle, only worry about their inner circle. You know, it's really that's what happens. You know, but you have to go and go around them, build your own, make your own lane, create a lane to go between them. I don't care what you do, but do what you need to do for your kid. You know, and that's just in a nutshell.
That's right.
I hope I did, because I said a lot.
You did. You actually broke it down in a way, so it's definitely understandable, and definitely, you know, you can acquire some knowledge, in because a lot of people claim they don't know about the programs, but if you're a parent and you have children, then you're supposed to go to these meetings that tell you about the program. You're supposed to get with people that's active in the community, because a lot of the community activists and a lot of community advocates have relationships with those people who really fund those programs. So therefore, you definitely got to stay connected. So we appreciate you telling us and vibing with us on that. So last but not least, you are a music executive and a radio personality. And so just tell me about your lane in the music, and why are you so passionate about, you know, the art form of music and the evolution of being a radio personality. You know, a voice that commands attention, you know. So tell me all about the music and the radio, and you know, and how you've been able to stand on top of it and stay afloat for so long.
Well, music has always been a part of my life. Music is something that I always been a dancer. You know, when it comes to music, it's a go-to for me. Singing, you know, just hearing the music. I used to sing and all of that stuff. I was in the choir and, you know, in church and all kinds of stuff, you know. I was definitely instrumental in putting together talent shows and helping to put together talent shows in school. You know, my very first play, I was like 4 or 5 years old, or something like that, in Marcus Garvey's school. And I think that day was the day that I was like, I'm gonna always do this, you know, because there was I only said one part, you know, and all I said was the ink is too thick. It needs some kerosene. That's all I said in the play. But when I said it, the applause and everything, I still remember that from me being a little 5-year-old on the stage and just saying that one little part and seeing the applause and stuff I was getting, you know, just from that. And it was like, this that was it for me. I've been singing and dancing and everything ever since, you know. So in high school, of course, that's when hip hop really became my love. In high school, you know, coming out of elementary school and going to high school, I was always surrounded by rappers and things of that nature. You know, Biz Markie is my brother. So I always was around him and Cool V, you know, and Elizabeth in the basement, you know, watching them do whatever they do with their music. You know, my freshman year of high school, I dated Tretch, you know, Tony, Tretch, whatever you guys call him, you know, naughty by nature. Anyway, we were kids, you know, but yeah, we had our little tiny and Tanya tiny shirts and all of that stuff. You know, we were cute, you know, back then. But I was always around musicians, you know, rap artists, DJs, producers. I was always around them. You know, at one point in time, I was actually learning how to DJ. But then Biz was like, "You ain't serious. You not serious. You don't want to do that. You want to dance. You want to." And I was like, "Yeah, I just want to dance." So me and my stepsister, we wound up dancing. You know, for Biz when Biz would go, you know, to you know, Latin Quarters, Union Square, whatever. We wound up dancing. You know, we started dancing at Sensations. We were young, you know, like 15 years old or whatever. You know, teenagers. So Sensations was the go-to. All of the celebrities came to Sensations, you know, and that's where we danced at, you know. So we just basically took that and ran with it, you know. So I can't. Music still to this day is such a big part of me. You know, such a big part of my life because it makes me feel a certain kind of way. A certain song, I may be feeling some kind of way right this minute, and I just need to hear a certain song, and that song would take me out of whatever I'm feeling, and it would take me there. And that's why music is so important to me, and that's why I tell the artists that I've managed and stuff like that. You know, that when you want to make music, you want to make music that's timeless. You want to make music that touches people. You know, you want to make music when that the type of music that when a person hears it, they can feel it. You know, they can feel you on the stage when you're performing. They can feel it. Your music has to be felt, not just heard. You know, and that's always been important to me. You know, as far as music is concerned, and you know, so again, I went through the whole talent show thing. You know, I was in a group called the PYTs, Pretty Young Things. As you know, that came from Michael Jackson's song PYTs. You know, so our name of our group was PYTs, and we had literally won the Tommy Boy label. It was a contest, and we actually had won, but we didn't have the parents and stuff that was gonna, you know, believe in rapping or believe in music or whatever, however the things are. But you see where Latifah is now, right? You see where the queen is now. You see Queen Latifah doing, you know, she got that thing with Tommy Boy, and she ran with it, and she's doing her thing, you know. But back then, you know, we were kids, and we didn't have anyone like me to tell me to say, okay, I'm gonna help you with this. You know, I'm gonna push you through. Right. You know, this. I'm gonna give you the business. I'm gonna help you with the business. You know, we didn't have that, you know, back then, but we were good. We were good. You know, it was me, Lonnie, Yolanda, we called her Lonnie C, and it was Red, Tawana. Her name was Tawana, you know, and Sophia, you know. Then Sophia, you know, You know, she had to leave. She had a child. You know, so it was just a lot of different things that were going on back then. And again, we were kids, but I never stopped with the music. I never stopped with the music. So when I left Clifford Scott, because I went to Clifford J. Scott High School. Yes, right, Clifford J. Scott in East Orange, New Jersey. That's where it was. It ain't there no more. But that's that's where it was. You know, I'm a Scotty dog. You know, and we always gave like parties and all kinds of stuff. You know, when I was in school. But when I left school, I went to a what do you call it, temp agency, and a temporary agency sent me to I was working, I was fresh out of school, and the temporary agency sent me to a house in West Orange to work, to do to assist a business assistant, so to do some clerical work and stuff like that. So I went there. Lo and behold, I didn't know that I was there with Tia Sinclair, who was the wife of one of the twins in Kool and the Gang. And I wound up helping, being instrumental in being a part of the JT Back Together Again, the Kool and the Gang Back Together Again tour. I was putting together their all of their business. They were out of the country. I was putting together the itinerary and everything. And I just, at the same time, I was still doing my own music. I was rapping and stuff like that. So I was still doing music. You know, my boyfriend was doing music. All my friends was doing music and stuff like that. But I was like, I kind of like this business part. I'm liking this business thing that she, you know, and seeing all the stuff that she's doing and putting all the stuff together. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do music anymore, you know. And then after my little song got taken, the idea of that song, and I'm gonna say this to the world because everybody don't know this, but that song "Street Life" was actually a song that I did, and I didn't know anything about the business, you know, at that time when I did it. When I came up with the concept and did it and all of that, you know, I called myself doing what they call a poor man copyright. You know, and you mail it to yourself, and that whole thing. Yeah, right. That don't hold no weight nowhere. But yeah, so it's totally different now with social media and everything that's digital. It's totally different now. But back then, it held no weight. You know, and I just got discouraged because, you know, I was like, wow, somebody could just take my music like that. Somebody could just take my song like that and then run with it, and they making money and you know, and it was just really that was a heartbreaking time for me, you know. But at the same time, I was there with Tia and with Tia and them, and you know, and helping to put together the tour, the Back Together Again tour, you know, Kool and the Gang's Back Together Again tour. And I was there, and at that time, that's when what's her name passed away, and she was family, his daughter. I don't know if you remember the girl that used to play Myra on Urkel, Family Matters. Sure. Yeah, sure. She was his daughter, and she passed away at that time when I was working there. That's when she had passed away, and it was just a rough time. They were going through rough times, and you know, back then or whatever too, you know. And so the whole business thing just stuck with me, and I said, you know, I'm always gonna rap. I'm always gonna write. I'm always gonna be a rapper. Whatever. I'm always gonna do. You know, I got lyrics, and you know, because I write poetry and stuff like that too. So I've always done that. You know, and when that happened, and then I said, you know, thing with the music, and I said, I'm not gonna do. I'm just gonna manage. Then I just wound up managing everybody. I mean, some of everybody. You'd be surprised at the people I managed and helped and and assisted, you know, throughout my years here on this earth. You know, it's been plenty. You know, and I mean, I was instrumental in helping people get out of record contracts and all kinds of stuff. You know, I just went and and again, did my research and got into the whole thing of business and all of that. I managed rap artists, I managed singers, I managed dance teams, I managed all kinds of people, you know. I manage people outside of, you know, right now with the record label, my artists are outside of the USA. They're not even here in the United States. And that is a whole totally different thing, you know, something that was totally different from me. But I was able to create relationships with record distribution companies outside of the USA when I was just managing, you know. And then I became actually still sit on the board of one of the distribution companies. And what happened was they asked me, they were like, you know, why don't you just go ahead and build a label? You know, you're here with us or whatever, you know, and you know, you're helping us out or whatever. Here, they're actually in the Ivy Coast. You know, you're helping us out here, but you're managing all these artists. Why don't you just build a label? And when I first did it, I just jumped out the window with it. I was so excited about it. I kind of just jumped out the window with it, you know, and I just snatched up all of the artists that I was managing, you know, and they weren't all ready to be on a label, you know.
Okay.
My label wasn't ready because I didn't have the team that I needed. The team that I needed wasn't as strong as I thought they were. You know, the people that I had, that I brought on into my business, really, they all didn't have my best interest at heart. You know, not everybody really has your best interest at heart, even those that you think do. You know, and then there are a lot of people too that just can't wait for the baby to grow up, so to speak. You know, this is a baby. This is a record label. It's a baby. We're not making money yet. We need to make money first. You know, there's no money being made because we have to have the music first. We have to be able to sell hit records. We have to get a hit record first of all. You know, and every artist think their record is a hit. Every artist think their songs are hits. You know, and every artist think their songs are making money. When they're making pennies, you're making pennies on a dollar with the streaming apps and stuff like that. You know, give me a chance to get us to where we need to be. You know, you're not even doing that. You guys are so rushy to get money that you're not even giving me the time that I need to do all the research I needed to do. But you know, it is what it is. I did what I had to do. Make a long story short, you know, I did what I had to do. I now have PROs for both video as well as radio, and all the music in the UK and all over the country. So I have my PROs not only BMI here in the United States and ASCAP, you know, or whatever here in Canada, in the United States and Canada, is actually worldwide. So my company, my record label, Champagne International Music Group LLC, is an international record label with an international PRO. You know, so it's, you know, I'm doing what I do, and you know, some people fell off, some people had to fall off, you know, because they couldn't go where I was going, you know. So it is, you know. Yeah. But I love them, right. But you just couldn't go where I was going. That's all.
Yeah, that's what it is. So you are a radio personality. If you can tell us when you air, and if you accept the submissions, and
I am.
Okay.
No, go ahead. And what else?
and what type of artists do you look for, or what type of artist pleases your ear? I'll put it like that. With you being a radio personality, because all radio personalities don't play every submission. They can't.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh no.
You know, so So what pleases your ear and what fits the radio station?
Okay, so basically, we play all music. Um, we are a network. GS Radio is a network which is Gyroscope Radio. That's GYROSCOPE. That's Gyroscope Radio. So we have Gyroscope Media Group, which is what I am a part of. GS Radio Newark is my baby. I own GS Radio Newark. I am the one who I started GS Radio Newark 7 years ago. So I celebrated my 7th year in November. But that came from GMG, from Ronald Williams, from my boss man. I call him boss man. He taught me everything I know as far as setting up my productions and all of that stuff. He's the one that taught me all of that. I started out with him, just doing the champagne room with me and my bestie, Grumpy, Sean Stover. His name is Sean Stover on here, but everybody calls him Grumpy Old Man or Grumpy or whatever. I started out the champagne room. We just started out the champagne room with him, with Boss Man. And from there, I was bringing so many people to, we were in Patterson at the time, at the Art Factory. I was bringing so many people there, celebrities and all. Like Do It All's been there, a couple of different celebrities I brought there. Do It All from Laws of the Underground. Couple of celebrities I brought to the station, and he was like, "You're out there in Newark, why don't you just do a radio station in Newark?" And see, this is what I love about me when it comes to people, because people are so it's so easy for people to believe that I can do something, that I can make this work, that I can make this happen. Why don't you go and do this? So when he said, why don't you go and do this station in Newark, find a space, do the station in Newark, I jumped on it. Why wouldn't I? So I've, of course, again, crossing the T's and dotting the I's, I had to do my paperwork first. So I had to make sure GS Radio Newark was an LLC prior to me doing anything else. I had to make sure that it was registered. I had to make sure that all of that was done first. So that's basically what I did. So now we are in over 230 countries worldwide. We have the GMG group, the whole network. We have the KOMTV network, which is our television network, which we have channels that we are offering. We are offering people to get channels on our network as well, and that's via Roku. So we're on Roku. We also have Clubhouse Music, which is Clubhouse is another part of the network, and then we have Glory Songs, which is the gospel Christian part of our network. So we have different networks underneath one umbrella. Okay. And yeah, so we like I said, and we're really just doing a lot for local artists, not just local artists, but celebrity artists as well. But, artists that want to outside of the country and outside of the city, outside of the state, whatever. We're doing, we take their music and we listen to it. If it's good enough, we will put it on the air. With me, and I tell people all the time, I give you a song about 30 seconds, if that. It has to really pique my interest for me to listen to more than 30 seconds of your song. Okay. When you send the song, we are FCC registered. We're not censored. The songs can be. If you got a couple of curse words in it, whatever, we'll play it. But we don't condone certain things, certain language in songs. So if you send me a song and you got some certain language in it, you probably shouldn't send it to me. But I believe that music again has to touch me. I have to feel the music, like I did with Big V. When
Right.
you sent me Big V's music, and before I interviewed him, you know, the song that I put on his flyer, you know, I felt that song. That's why I
Right.
used it, because it was
Right.
the song that I know that we were gonna put in rotation. I'm like, oh, I'm putting this song in rotation. So his song
Right.
it has been in rotation ever since we put it on. I put it on my show. It is on
Right.
it is on rotation and on the GS Radio network. You know, but you have to be an artist that knows. All artists need to know their audience. You know, not only do you need to know your audience, you need to know the radio personality that you're sending your music to. If you are sending, you might like something a little different than what I like, you know?
Right.
And artists have this thing where they just send it everybody, just sending out music, you know, send the e-blast or whatever, and just send out the music. But if your music may not be getting heard because you're sending it to the wrong people. You're probably not getting any radio play because you're sending your music to the wrong people. Because not
That's right.
everybody is going to listen to you. And you have to commercialize yourself. You have to commercialize. You got to make sure your music is able to be played on all platforms. Any platform that you can. I do a lot of community-based events. So that means it's children and elders and stuff in the audience. When especially in the summertime when I'm doing like my summer events, you know, my Juneteenth events and stuff like that. I need to make sure that any artist that I place on my platform has positive music, has conscious music that is going to be, you know, that's going to be available for that crowd.
Yes.
Because I have different crowds. So it has to be available for that crowd. You know, I might do an event where it's nothing but teenagers. Yeah, they can listen to the trap and the drill and all of that stuff. Because, you know, that's now the audience has changed. And all of my artists that I have managed, they know they don't have a problem with going first when it comes to going to an event. They don't have a problem with going first. You know, they don't have a problem with we got to change this. Case in point, you know, my partner in Bestie Grump, I managed him first. He would have 6, 7, 8 different flash drives. When we travel, we want to look at the audience first. We want to see what kind of audience it is. We want to see what kind of vibe they have, especially when we're traveling outside of our state. When we're going to D.C. or Virginia or North Carolina or Atlanta or whatever, when we are traveling, we know that they don't listen to the same kind of music that they may listen to here in New Jersey or
Right.
in Pennsylvania, you know? So when he walks, when we go, he walks with so many different shows, instrumental shows. That's another thing. You got to have shows. You gotta have instrumental shows on flash drives that you're able to give the DJ or whoever, and they're able to play it, and you know exactly which show that is.
Right. Right.
And that's what he does. And I'm telling again, I'm giving you dropping jewels that I don't usually drop for everybody, you know, because this is how we do, you know.
Right.
But I'm doing this for you because you're my boy, so you know I'm gonna do it for you. But again, I don't usually do this because, you know, I don't like for people to mimic what I do. So that's a whole nother thing. You know, I'll teach you, I'll show you, you know, and you might have to pay for that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But sometimes people mimic what I do and then say they got it from me and they did it wrong and they didn't even get it from me. You know. They stole it from me, or tried to do what I did, you know. Then that's always a problem for me. But this radio personality thing, what I do.
Lord have mercy, man. People are so. Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, why not just ask you and just get it right from you? You like just get it right. Yeah, just get it right. Like you ain't hard to get along with. You ain't hard to get along with. Just
Exactly.
get it right. You know,
Yep.
so but that's what's up, man.
Yep.
We out of time, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
I want you to tell everyone how to get up with you, how to get in contact with you, and tell them what you got going on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we just now changed our Women Who Jam show. Women Who Jam is actually a platform that was created for women by women by the president of NABFEM, which is the National Association of Black Female Executives in Music and Entertainment. Miss Johnny Walker. We do a all female showcase, and I'll be doing the Women Who Jam Jersey style. We were supposed to do it this past Saturday, but we actually changed it to Mother's Day weekend. So we will be doing it in Hackensack, New Jersey, on May 13th, Saturday, May 13th. So that's just another thing that I do. Top Mike's tour. I am the director of NABFEM New Jersey. I am also the director of the Top Mike's tour for New Jersey as well as the Carolinas. So I need to put something together for the Carolinas for Top Mike's, and I'm going to be talking to you about that real soon. Because we need to get that done. And
we can actually bring Watch Fox 57 out as well. So yeah, we can talk for sure.
Okay. All right, absolutely. So you guys just need to you Google me, baby. Google me. All of my stuff comes up. Put my name in Tonia, and my last name is Champagne, just like the drink. Champagne. Put it up. Put it in the Google. All my stuff comes up. There's nothing. I am an open book. You guys can catch me on wherever my social media is. You guys can catch me there. And I take King Jake is the one who sends me the submissions for the radio station for my show. So please go through him. If you are on his platform, please go through him in order to get to me as far as being a guest on my show.
All right. You heard it first. The Chatterbox with King Jacob. Yours truly, man, with the Honorable Tonia Champagne in the building. We want to thank her for coming through and dropping so many jewels and just thank her for all her hard work and dedication within the community, within the entertainment industry, and just keep striving and just keep dropping those jewels to inspire people to win. So we just want to thank you once again for coming on.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. Thanks to God. Thanks for letting me be on in my car. I just got off work. So sorry guys, I wasn't able to be home and all of that good stuff. But we had to, the show must go on. I don't care. Must go on.
That's right. It's all good. The show must go on, and just want to say love, peace, and blessings, and we out.
Absolutely. Talk to you later. Peace.
Peace.